Alright, this is our app called Arrow Share. How it's set up is you have a loading screen in the beginning where you have a power button, and it uses navigators and segues to move through each screen individually based on button clicks. So if we click the power button, it'll go into the sign in, sign up page. If we log in with our test account, it'll take us to our main menu with directions and feed. You click the directions button, it goes from the directions button on this screen through a navigation controller to the directions screen. And you have choices of beginner or advanced, which will take you to other navigation controllers, thus moving you to other screens. We also have back buttons that basically reverse the segue and go back or to sign out. The general layout is sort of like a web, as in one main menu or sub-menu will offlet into separate screens in different positions, just like any other app would.
So we chose to do this app because we thought it would be good for young children to use, and it's easy to use too. So as you can see, when you press the power button, you go on to the login. So we made this colourful for children so it'll be eye-catching. We also chose to use only two ways of beginner and advanced. So beginner would be for children of young ages from 8 onwards, and then advanced would be for children that have done the beginner and moved on to the advanced. We thought of an aeroplane idea because it was a way of getting children outdoors and active whilst using the internet and whilst using technology. So we thought of the process of like a slideshow, but we were going to do a slideshow from one stage of the aeroplane creativity to another. We chose to have this layout because it's easier for children to see what's going on and it's easier for them to visualise. As you can see, you can just scroll down on the app, so it's easier for them to look at, so they can see what stages are going to be next. Do you want to talk about?
So also we made sure that there were some different difficulty levels for the from the app. So we had just normal difficulty and intermediate, hard as well. As well as that, we have also, one of the problems that we had was that one of the things that we were thinking about doing. One problem we had was with the UI image view. We weren't able to get the UI image to import from the photo gallery, so when it came up, it came up with nothing instead. However, we thought this might actually not be a hugely massive problem, because with the app being designed towards more kids, if there's the ability to upload photos, it could be like misused, and it could mean that it's not safe for children, especially if it's going to be, if it's for making paper aeroplanes. The age range could be as low as maybe 4 or 5, so we needed to be careful with how safe it was, especially with privacy controls and parents making sure that their children need need the app to be safe.
So some issues that we had with coding were that when we pressed the power button, an animation was supposed to occur where the airplane flew up from behind the clouds. Unfortunately, I could not figure out how to do that because we were using two different methods of coding for the view screen and the authentication, and I was not quite sure how to merge those two concepts together. However, we did get the power button to work, which was our original idea, and then move into email authentication. For coding, we did have some issues where the Firebase pods didn't import correctly, but it just ended up being that the language had been changed for email authentication within the past year from FIR auth to just auth. So strings of code like for auth.auth, etc., became auth.lowercase auth. So simple stuff like that we wouldn't really have known unless we had things like Cora to look up our error sequences.
One of the things that we would have included if we had more time and if we were to push forward this app would be to create a more in-depth online part. So we would have had the ability for different users to connect with each other and show off their creations and show off what they've made on here.